Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 200. Today is Saturday, September 16th, 2017, and I'm glad you could join me today. Ridiculous. 200 episodes. I don't think I realized when I started recording that I would, be recording this long. But, whatever. So, what was it? I had originally started, Memorial Day weekend, 2013, so, what would it be? It's been a little bit more than 4 years to make it to 200 episodes, so, not too bad. I wasn't super duper, or what would it be? I was an every other week podcast for a while there, so. It's much easier to be an every week podcast, I must admit. With occasional random breaks. So, shouldn't be too crazy. And this is actually probably going to be a quick episode. I'm assuming. I could be wrong. Sometimes it's hard to tell how much I will babble on about things. So, my only knitting is actually the Rock the Kasbah, which is a Cindy Garland pattern. And it is out of Stunning String Studio, or Simply Stunning Strings. Yeah, just make up yarn names, whatever. And I am a little bit further into the board. I finished chart 7, and I'm now working chart 8. I don't know if I was there last week, too. I'm not sure. But, so this is out of the Calypso Blue and Fog colorways. And it is the nifty color work part, so it is fun to work on, and you can see the cool little pattern coming together. So, the next section, I think, is making the box move over or something like that. Maybe there's a ridiculous number of... I think it was starting to get sort of crazy on the slip stitches, so I was leaving it for a little bit later. Not sure when that was going to be. So, not too bad. But not too much else to say about it either. It's coming along. If you probably squint, you can see how the pattern is supposed to come together. And I'm not sure how many times I have to repeat this, or whether or not I'll move on to chart 9. Well, that one is the back side of that. Chart 1. There are 11 charts, so somewhere in here is... I found chart 10 and 11, so it's looking promising. And 10 definitely looks like a variation, which would mean 9 is probably also. So, I'm probably a little bit past the 1/4 mark, or the 1/3 mark, one of the two. 11, chart 11 is definitely different. I think 9 and 10 are variations on this box pattern, so not too crazy. So it's coming along. It is my only knitting project, so it is moving forward in a way. The socks aren't 4 socks. I just need to sit down and set up the pattern. Maybe I'll do that today, because the shawl is probably a little unwieldy for standing in line and waiting knitting. I got some new coffee. I'm still sort of undecided on what happened exactly. I believe it's actually called Spiceman, so it's I think it's cruise coffee or something like that. So it has a different flavor profile than I'm used to. So what primarily got the love this week is my Julie Spence. So this is my Julie Spence. I haven't washed it yet. I figured, based on sort of how it's laying right now, I don't think it's going to change the character of it too much. So this is Julie Spence. It is a 60% BFL and 40% Bombyx silk blend. I ended up getting 820 yards of a chain ply in 5.2 ounces. So it would be, what would it be, on the heavier end of lace, probably. There's probably some sort of ratio that I could figure out there. I'm sure we could figure it out without too much problems. Alright, so we're at like the little shy of 2,500 yards per pound versus, what would it be? If I could calculate that would be helpful. Like, really, this is pretty bad. As opposed to like 3,200 for a true lace weight. So it's on the heavier end of lace, but definitely more than fingering, because that, yeah, fingering would be closer to 1,600. So, okay, math. Like, thank you, cell phone. So that'd be the case, or what is it? So this is, what would it be? It's not super duper soft. I don't know if part of that's the ludicrous ratio or part of that's that I haven't washed it yet, but would it be super duper fine? I was very excited when I realized that just the gold section was like 400 yards, so that would mean it was more, or what would it be? I got 200 wraps. So it'd be the case where it is actually pretty balanced in terms of size. In terms of the color, there are some colors in this that don't pick up on the camera. It isn't blue and gold. There is in fact purple in here, but it must be violet. Violet is not something that CCDs and computer programs can capture, so maybe if we had some film it would be okay, but the odds of that are low. So, I was trying to imagine all of the different really cool things that I could make with this guy. Definitely, like, so, the puzzle, of course. And then it is a gradient. It has like a little bit of stripiness to it, or more of like the color block style. There's also some like pinks and purples in there that you guys can see, but it is not too bad in terms of balance. It has that silk smell to it, like, you know, if you ever played around with that, it has a distinctive odor. Not like it's a bad odor, but it's distinctive. And it is, what would it be? A lot of it does tend to be more on the purpley blue spectrum, but I can't show you. It's totally foxing the camera. So, but thinking of like some sort of lace thing, it would be the case where some, like, whatever, maybe in the vein of laminaria, but a different pattern for sure. So I'm wondering whether or not this is the appropriate skein for like the regrowth shawl and something like that. Not sure. I'm definitely pondering it. We shall see. And it'll be interesting to see if things change a decent amount with washing and that sort of thing. So shouldn't be too crazy, but glad to see that it is coming together nicely. So happy that that one's done. It took a decent amount of time to finish up. It was like a marathon plying session probably Thursday night, and then I finished plying it Friday morning. That doesn't seem quite right. I think it was Wednesday night. I rock on Thursdays. There wasn't enough time for that nonsense. So the other project that's been getting some love is the Greenwood Fibers Yak Silk. So we're not doing diversity of fibers, maybe diversity of colors. So I'm spinning this on my, I guess I sort of planned out that little bottom, dropping it. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. It wasn't going to last. So, but I have a little bit of a problem because it came untwisted on me. So I am caring a little bit less about how I am putting the fiber on this bad boy. But it is, what would it be? There's that end. So I had a little bit of an accident like right at the end of midnight where it didn't seem to want to be coming together very nicely. So this is Greenwood Fiberworks. It is a yak silk, which apparently won awards and was pretty. I am actually really happy with how the colors are turning out. It wouldn't be what I would typically pick for myself, because there was a lot more, what would it be? Like, it's definitely all dual tones, that's for sure. But it was maybe a little bit atypical of what I normally gravitate to, like the super duper saturated colors. But it has like a really nice variegation in it, and I don't know if that's from like the yak and the silk. It's supposed to be a 50-50 blend, and it is very lovely to spin. That is a fact. And it'd be the case where I've now gone through all of the colors, and I'm slowly going to start working my way back the other end. So it's a ABC, CBA color sequence on this guy. Very structured, that's for sure. But it is very pleasurable to spin. I don't know if this ends up being my substitute small, easily carried around project. Probably not. I really do need to get the socks further along. But it was, whatever. Like, it's the case where sometimes you have like a project and it like really like hits the spot. It's like, I know this is exactly what I needed in a little spindle project. So, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's just the case where it's just very satisfying to have a certain type of project ongoing. And I think that choosing to spin this on the spindle is going to maximize the pleasure of working with this fiber, because it is really nice. And then dealing with whatever the ramifications, because it just seems very surprising to me how quickly the colors started flying by with this half of the braid I'm working right now. Like, it just seems like everything's moving along a lot faster, so I guess that's positive. It seemed like when I had trying to spin from the full braid, it, excuse me, wasn't working very well at all. But this is a much more manageable chunk, and it's like has like good like mixing of colors and that fun stuff. So, and I can only imagine that my smaller things, because I ended up I think quartering the other half, will be super duper blendy and show, you know, some of those cool looking effects that only hand spun gives you. So that was exciting. So the other thing is the continued fleece preparation. So I have my colored locks of ambiguous color. Really, they're like pink and turquoise, but all you can see is the turquoise. And the camera's failing me today. Like, really, I swear. And even there's like a little bit of blue in there as well, which is sort of cool. I'm not sure if that's part of like the delphinium blue or something. So I have my bag of locks, and it doesn't seem like it's changed size too much. And then I have my thing of waste here, which probably won't entirely go to waste in the end. But it's definitely getting to be a much bigger portion of what's going on. And then I have my balls atop. So what I did notice when I was looking at it in the natural light is that there is much more an appearance of the, what would it be, like the gray and the pink. Even though you guys can't see the pink, I really swear. Like this here, totally pink. That's so weird. Like, totally fooling the color. But then what's also, so it like, interestingly enough, basically has like a color repeat to it, so it's alternating between the more, in this case this is a very gray turquoise, and then like a periwinkle colorway, or periwinkle color. So very interesting how this turned out. And then for some reason it wasn't clear to me when I was fooling around with it. Like, that's pink. So weird. Nothing's really, but I have a couple more top balls. But this isn't going to be my next spinning project. This is more like the never-ending making balls. I actually picked another thing from my bin. So the Julie Spence was a spin the bin fiber. And I don't have it on the wheel yet, but I did prep it last night. I'm going to be spinning my Nest Torfino, which is a full earth silk blend. And it has shades of blue and turquoise and an olivey green and a darker foresty green in it as a fractal. Like, this was the fiber that made me like super duper jealous that I had like canceled the club the last time I was in the club. So it's really stinking gorgeous. So you can maybe get a sense for the colors there. It seems to be maybe washing out a little bit, but I've got nothing. Sometimes the colors of myself are accurate. I don't know why the colors of all of my fiber has been inaccurate today. But oh well, such is life. So I'm probably going to be starting this. It's really pretty pleasant outside, so I may actually pull out the wheel and start spinning in the great outdoors. This is pretty lovely. And I guess since the fractal bits are on top, I'll probably end up starting with those. So I ended up breaking, or what ended up naturally sort of broke into was 6 small balls and 1 big ball, but then there were an awful lot of colors even in that, so should be good fun. Not too crazy. So I have 3 more bin spins left to go, and then I will be done. So the fleece is one of them. I then also have a braid of BFL that I'm probably going to make a cable sock yarn with. So that should be a lot of fun. And hopefully that won't turn out as bizarro as my other BFL spins in the bin have been. I have tried to make sock yarn, or I put aside BFL in my bin to make sock yarn, and I've had 2 failures for the most part. So I'm hoping for 1 bin because I really, really like that colorway a lot. We shall see. I totally forgot to check my, what is it? So the latest round of the Nest Club, the spoilers came up this week. Definitely a very fall-tastic colorway. And it was the luxury blend, which is why I didn't want to cut off my club until after this one, but I'm gonna have to cut off my club. I have 3 pounds of Nest in my stash right now, and that's ridiculous. So while it has been really lovely to be receiving the fiber, I think I need to chill out for a while until I sort of work through the backlog. I really do love spinning with Nest. So it's just a matter of what would it be. There isn't room on my shelves right now for it, and while I might be a fairly productive spinner, I can only be in a club for so long before it's just like, ah. I think the other thing that doesn't help is that because I'm feeling quite satisfied with yarn, if I go to a fiber fest, I tend to buy fiber. So those purchases, I think, are the ones that sort of push me above what I can reasonably spin steady state. What I mean? It's all about the steady state. As I was cleaning up my yarn room this morning, and so say for example I weighed how many leftovers of my boxy I had, so I could put down how many yards of yarn I had left, or how many yards of yarn I'd used from my boxy. And then trying to get everything to fit on the shelves, I was like, this is not working. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, I find that, I do have an empty cubby, but I didn't want to use it for that, but I'm gonna have to do some rearranging, I think, in order to make everything work, which, whatever, such is life. Probably for Sandy's sake, I could separate it out into various times when I've had decent acquisitions and sort of work through the pile that way. Would it be because there's been the stuff I've received as gifts and prizes. There are the stuff I got at my first SSK, my second SSK, the local fiber festivals, whatever. Right now I have an overflowing thing of Nest. Maybe I could just move it into 2 cubbies and that would be a little bit less ridiculous. I don't know. the various fleece that I have. So I still have like another grocery bag size thing of the gray fleece that still needs to be dyed, so whatever, I'll probably end up throwing it in the mix with this. We'll see how it goes. But like I have my 2 things of wool-mysa, and then I think I have 2 things of sock yarn that isn't, or whatever. I have my wool-mysa lace and my wool-mysa sock. I have 2 things of sock yarn. I have the thing of like sweater quantities. That's just one cubby, so I guess the wool-mysa lace probably counts as sweater quantities too, but whatever. But what was it? My handspun is definitely overflowing. I did some ridiculous things to make it all fit, and it still isn't all fitting, so I might need to go on a handspun project jag for a little while, since I've been on a not handspun jag. I was trying to think of like what amount could I get out of the stash that would make the biggest dent, and it's probably the sweater quantity I just spun. So that was the what is it? For the breathing space. So that would make sense. But nah. In addition to, say, for example, the sweater quantity I'm prepping right now. Hey, no big deal. So, not too crazy in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure my phone isn't too crazy right now. Looks like we're actually going to go hang out. So one of our friends from undergrad is in town, so we're going to probably go hang out with him, which should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. It works out. So I would like to thank everyone for being a part of the podcast for the last 200 episodes. I've been, I'm really grateful for all of you guys, and thanks for sticking with me. And with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.